Hey, what up? I got a reaction to that Michael Jackson movie, or Michael. I watched it last night. Rest, relaxation on a Sunday. Had 3 games on, but in between games before the Laker game came on, I said, you know what? Let me just go see what this movie's all about. Didn't go watch it. You know, with all these apps and links and all of that, I was able to watch the movie in the privacy of my own TV room. And I actually was impressed, man. It was good. You know, it for a man, you know, in his 50s, you know, it was like a timepiece. Anytime a song came out, you know, I could remember what I was doing, who I was with, where I was at, you know, because when Thriller or Beat It came out, or Billie Jean, you know, one of my mom's friends, T, she had a viewing party because they were just playing it back to back on MTV. And she lived in Linwood at the time. You know, we living in South Central, wasn't no cable in the hood back then. So on a Friday, we went and watched, Beat It. No, Billie Jean. And the same thing for Thriller and all of that. And like I said, take my hat off to, Fuqua, you know, the director of Training Day, who actually produced and directed the movie, the biopic, and it was actually impressive. I enjoyed every minute of it. You know, I even felt bad when Joe pulled the belt out, you know, and whooped him. You know, but as a kid growing up in the 70s and 80s, you know, sometimes, you know, you had to get a belt whooping. You know, it was legal back then. But I love the film, and it's some pushback, you know, individuals saying, oh, they didn't talk about the scandal and all of that. The movie basically depicted his career from the start of his career to 1988 to the I'm Bad tour. Okay, and that's where it ended. Before all the allegations, before all the, the issues and whatever that they tried to put on that man. But movie was amazing. I got lost in the sauce. I'm looking at his nephew. It seemed like that's him. You know, I knew a lot of these things was coming, like the Pepsi Little situation when his hair caught on fire and all that. But to show the intimacy of Michael Jackson, you know, how he, you know, up until 88 was still living at his parents' home. Never Land was a dream that he brought into fruition, you know, but at the time, like I said, it was an awesome movie. And when you watch it, you know, turn the surround sound on, you know, had them subs bumping, because like I said, it was very, very, very impressive, and I loved every minute of it. So with that being said, man, you know, 5 stars for Michael Jackson, for Jackson, 10 stars for the scenario. Like I said, it was an amazing biopic, and like I said, the music was awesome. And I'm sitting there as a grown man, you know, tearing up. I remember when Beat It came out. I remember when Thriller came out, I had the jacket. You know, I remember when, you know, they brought the Crips and the Bloods, and they was in the videos with the cameo and all of that. But like I said, it was a great film. So 2 thumbs up to the Michael biopic. 2 thumbs up to Antonio Fuqua for producing such a great movie. And I appreciate the fact that they ended it in 1988 before all the scandals and all that, because it's a feel-good movie. You know, it's not, you know, it's not one of those emotional things, but it's a feel-good movie, and an amazing, if not one of the best soundtracks in movie history. With that being said, that's my reaction to Michael. 10 stars, 9 out of 10 on Rotten Tomatoes, in my personal opinion. That being said, have a good day. Make sure you hit that like, notification, subscription. We're going up. Better Black America TV on YouTube, Better Black America Talk Radio Show on Facebook. That being said, have an amazing day. Peace out.